What's up, everyone? This is Richard at Backcountry Life, and I recently rode 5 miles of hell. And that's a big deal for me because this is my first year of really getting into dirt biking. And so it's the first year I've owned my own dirt bike. Now, I've ridden a couple of times. I've done probably like two or three trail rides in the past on my brother's bike, but really this is my first year. And so Sam convinced me to go do 5 miles of hell. That's my brother. And I just wanted to share some of my experience of what it was like as a newer dirt biker to do such a hard trail and what it was like. So stay tuned. As a beginner, 5 miles of hell really is a tough trail to tackle. And the only reason why I agreed to doing it was because Sam and Will told me if I ever feel uncomfortable with something, then they will ride the bike for me, walk up it. So I just went in on the understanding of like, look, I can just be careful and just pick my way through stuff. And if I start to get uncomfortable, I'm done, and they'll ride the bike the rest of the way. And to be honest, I think that was key for me being able to ride 5 miles of hell. The biggest key with that was, as I was riding 5 miles of hell, which I think allowed me to do a lot better than what I should have done, was knowing that I was comfortable, that I could always stop and let Sam or Will take over and ride the bike from there. And so I never let the mental side of me get to me. And I think that would have killed me if I would have, gotten all worked up and stressed out, because it's amazing what you can ride up and down or whatever if you're just comfortable, feel confident about it. But as soon as you start second guessing yourself, that's when you get in trouble. And I really noticed that on the trail, that if I felt comfortable, I was good and I could actually do some things that I probably wouldn't have done or been able to have done if I wasn't feeling confident and comfortable. The second thing that was really important, so I started out on my brand new Honda 250RX, a 4-stroke. And it's a good bike and I love it. But in this gnarly stuff, it just doesn't have that low-end grunt that I needed to really just pick my way through all the obstacles and the rocks. And so probably about a quarter of the way through, I actually switched to Sam's dirt bike. So his is a 250 2-stroke KTM TPI fuel-injected 2-strokes of 2020. And that sucker has crazy low-end grunt. Now, just riding normally, I actually don't love that bike. It's a little too much of a bike for me. I love my Honda way more. But on this stuff, riding Sam's bike with tubeless, and so when you get crazy grip because you're only running, I don't know, what is it, like 10 PSI in your tires, like it really allowed me to, I kept saying, I was like, I feel like I'm cheating. So, because I could just grunt through stuff and make mistakes and just go really slow. And the bike really allowed me to do that. And so having the right bike was super key for me being able to ride 5 miles of hell. If you were to try to go ride it on a 450 4-stroke, like Will actually has a 450 4-stroke, and we left that one home, and he was riding Sam's KTM, and then we switched and he was riding my Honda. But his 4-stroke is set up to race that. Or A, we would have burned up the motor. B, it's just not geared low, and he would have had to bomb up everything, going 20 miles per hour, which would be pretty sketchy. Then Will just wheelies up that whole sucker. And so having the right bike really made a huge difference for me on 5 miles of hell. For example, like with my 4-stroke, my 250 Honda, I was riding it and it was sapping my energy really quickly. I was this because it just took a lot more effort to ride it than when I hopped on the Sam's bike. It took less effort for me. So I don't know if I would have made it, or it would have been way harder to make it if I would have stayed on my 250. Interestingly enough, we ran into a guy later on in that day that they had ridden 5 miles of hell, and his buddy had heat exhaustion or heat stroke. And so, and it was only like 65 degrees that day was the high. And so it wasn't even that hot. But that's one thing to keep in mind. You're out in the desert, you're going slow, and you're working hard consistently. And so if you're thinking of going and riding, you definitely should consider only going in the spring or in the fall, or if you do go during the summer, be very careful, bring lots of water, and go as early in the morning as you can, because it's brutal. I can't make it up the crux. Like, I'm not even gonna try. But you know, Sam and Will were happy to ride my bike up the crux, so that worked out great for me. So if you're watching this, I hope that helped. If you're newer or kind of stressed out about potentially riding 5 miles of hell, you know, that was my experience. We did take the bell out, so halfway, I don't know if it's halfway through, but right after the crux, right when you're up on top, you can actually take a road that takes you back to the cars. It's just a bell out that stays up on top, and it's basically flat. So overall, my experience was pretty good riding 5 miles of hell. I was surprised at what I was able to do. I feel like I did pretty well. I only dropped the bike like 4 times, but nothing like a big wreck. So that's good. You know, I just tipped it over a couple of times, mostly on my Honda. Once I got on the Sam's bike, I only tipped that over once. So it's a fun trail, and it's super pretty country. And so if you do get the opportunity, I think you should take it to go ride it. And if you feel a little uncomfortable, you know, I hope I helped you put some of that at ease. So super fun trail, and I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video of my thoughts on 5 miles of hell.